channel, welcome. I'm going to start immediately by saying thank you to new patrons I've got over the last week. We've got Joe, Alon, John, Kedda, Haspel, that's all one person, and Louise Ann. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate all the patrons. If it wasn't for the patrons, this channel wouldn't exist. Basically, if you're new to me, I've got over 25, approaching 30 years now, experienced hand-making jewellery. It's really specialised in handmade. I will emphasise that, because a lot of modern jewellery making involves computers and machines and stuff, and it's not the old-fashioned traditional way of doing things, and it's a bit of a shame if it gets lost. So that's my motivation for this channel, is to teach people how to do it before it gets totally lost. So that's what the channel's about. Click like, subscribe if you're into all that. Okay, so let's get into it. The 4 Cs, yeah, I'm not talking about cut, colour, clarity, and what's the other one? Quality. No, not those. That's just like a little cute kind of gemology class for customers. Now this is the 4 Cs of jewellery repairs. So we got condition, the cause, correction, and then confirmation. And I've got this ring here that I was made as experimenting for future videos. I will talk about stuff that could happen to this, assuming like a customer gave me this and I've been given to me to repair it. I'll talk about what I mean by the 4 Cs of jewellery repairs. Okay, so number 1, condition. A customer brings you this ring, they said it feels sharp on top and never used to. Okay, so let's check the condition of it. So we're looking around it. Easy one to spot, say this claw's come off, so it's just like a broken bit there, and that's why it feels sharp. So that's not the only thing, don't just concentrate on that. Have a look at the whole ring. So it might be out of shape, might be twisted, stone might be broken. Checking the whole condition of it, it's really important, you've got to do. Don't just concentrate on what they've pointed out. You want to look over everything, check all the solder joins, big scratches and stuff. Like, tells you a lot about how it's being worn, what kind of person they are. Okay, so next we got the cause. Why did that claw come off? You got to have a close look at it. 100% you need 10 times loop. Like, really study it close. Why did that claw come off? Perhaps the metal, this is not unheard of, the metal was porous and the ring was made and got away with it. Everything seemed fine, might have been worn for like 6 months, a year, whatever. And then the claw just come off because inside the metal was porosity, just sort of like minuscule little air bubbles, just wasn't strong internally in the metal. And then all it took was just catching on a bit of clothing, just gently, just pulled it off. You can check that when you check it through your loop. It will look like sort of when you break a biscuit in half. There's just internally lots of little pockets of air. It can happen in metal. Yeah, so that's why it would have broken off, and that would really feel sharp. It would look like a biscuit and it would feel sharp, but not necessarily. It could have just been pulled off, could have just been pulled back so quickly and severely, just at one spot, just tore off. Not impossible in precious metals at all. So why did that happen? So you can look at it, the claw, the top will be missing obviously, but the whole thing might be bent back a little bit. So you can ask the customer, like, what happened? Did you have an accident with it and then notice it, or did you just notice it was sharp one day? Depends what they tell you. They may be honest and say, I caught it on my clothing, it was like caught on my jumper, I just pulled it, and then the claw was gone. Some people, customers, don't tell you the whole truth quite often. You got you got to tell them. Quite often they might be hiding the truth, but you just tell them the truth, even though they don't want to be honest. They might have dropped it, accidentally stepped on it. If you get unlucky, you could have just yanked on the side. People are just wearing rings, or just walking too close to a wall, just accidentally scratch on a wall. I've done it with my watch a few times, scratch the bezel just from getting too close to a wall. Just something like that can knock a claw off. But yeah, you want to be, if it's like that, if you reckon it's had a knock, definitely want to be checking the stone. Diamonds obviously are really like hardy, but even sapphire is really, really hard, but they can chip. Like, even the hardest gemstones can damage just from being touched on the wall. But yeah, if it's been dropped and stood on, I imagine it'll be twisted, there'll be other problems with it. But basically, we know the condition, we're figuring out the cause. If the customer doesn't know, if you're lucky, they just tell you the truth and they say, oh God. If you're really unlucky, they bring it back saying it wasn't like that when they bought it. The metal is obviously weak, you did something wrong, you didn't make it properly. You get that as a professional jeweller. I think people who've been in the trade a few years will back me up on that. And people will just blame you for stuff that they did, just because they trying to avoid paying a repair bill. I think happens a lot. Next we got correction. Okay, so the claw's off. How do we fix it? You can do what's called tipping, where you just replace the top bit, so say it's just snapped off at the girdle. You can replace just that top bit. I don't really like that as a repair. If you are going to do that, don't just put it flat on, because you've got a solder joint, that will just come off again really quickly. At least solder it, at least file it at a steep angle, so you've got this long flat section, and then you're gonna have to file a bit of wire to match that flat section, and then put it on, reset it. It's not ideal. Like where I worked in London, I don't think they ever did that. They just said replace the whole claw. It's a much better repair. I would literally get a metal, same gauge as the other claws. I'd bend it just like that. I would cut a little groove for the set-in, for the girdle to fit in. So when that's on the ring, I literally just place it in position. I'd have that all phrase back. I'd sort of recut the groove for the claw to go in. I'd get it just on there like that. So it would literally look like that before I even soldered it in. And then touch solder there, get that soldered in. Make sure it's nice and tight in there, get that soldered in, and then do it set in. But then you've got one brand new claw compared to the other ones. Assuming they're in good-ish condition, you want to match it best possible. You don't want one big, fat, shiny, brand new looking claw that looks odd compared to the others. If the others are all totally worn out, then you really want to be recommending replacing those as well. Anyway, so yeah, that's condition. We've got cause, that's correcting the problems, and then confirmation. You want to, after polishing, I want to be checking all my joins again, making sure all the solder's all nice and clean, everything's all straight, like you haven't missed any problems, like you may have done all this work and then suddenly notice there's a tiny little hairline crack on that claw or something. If it's an old ring, sometimes you're working on stuff that's like 50, 60 years old, or like, you know, inherited and passed down, and yeah, that's why you want to check the condition right at the first step so you don't miss anything, so you're confirming all your work and the ring is ready and good and safe to wear, ready to give back to the customer. So here's another version. We got obstacle, options, opportunities, and overcome, the 4 O's. So say, just quickly give you an example, say the shank is broken at the back, customer's wearing it, feels sharp, catching on everything, yeah, your join's broken through. So what options have you got? Basically, just to, you can cut through it, join it back up. Opportunities afterwards, was it too tight? Was it like getting a bit too, is it slightly out of shape? Was it too tight? Was it just being a problem to wear? So we've got an opportunity to size it up a little bit, or size it down a little bit, whatever you want. Or another opportunity is just to polish the whole thing, get it all really clean and nice again. Yeah, you've got an opportunity there after rather than just doing the repair, polishing it just at the back, polish the whole thing, get it looking good. And yeah, you overcome that. So overcome your problems by working through your options with your extra opportunities. So yeah, anyway, so jewellery repairs. I always forget to do this at the end of my videos. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, you liked it, whatever, click like and subscribe. And if you'll take it a step further, become a Diamond Mount a patron. It's patron.com/Diamond, link in the description, blah, blah, blah. Hope to see you there. If not, just tune in again for the next upload. See you then, bye.